Let me tell you about the Total Archery Challenge. It was so much fun. I had a freaking blast. It was one of the coolest weekends in so long. I am so excited. This coming weekend, I get to go to Tennessee and do the TAC in Tennessee. 2 weeks ago, I was in San Antonio shooting the Total Archery Challenge. I'm also shooting this as a reminder to myself, kind of like an online checklist of things that I need to pack with me this next time around. Here's what I forgot to bring to the Total Archery Challenge. Here's what I wish I would have had. And here's what I'm glad I packed. I think that'll help a few people out. Snacks and water. You're gonna have a backpack on, so you wanna have a water bladder in there, or you wanna at least have a water bottle. They did a good job making sure that you could refill a couple of spots before you left, and then halfway through the course there was a watering station there as well. So it doesn't have to be something huge. You don't want to bring 3 liters of water, but it was hot in San Antonio, so as we were walking, I definitely ran out of water between every station. Throw a protein bar in your pack. I only ate one each day, but it was still nice to have it. They had plenty of food back at the main station, and I was supporting the local vendors. Sunscreen. You're gonna want to have sunscreen. Day 1, Total Archery Challenge in the books. I feel like I forgot something. Hey Joss, what did I tell you earlier that I was supposed to bring tomorrow? Do you remember? Boom. Bug spray. There weren't any bugs that I noticed in San Antonio, but I'm about to go do the Tennessee shoot, and I'm definitely bringing bug spray with me there. I may bring a hairnet and a face net and a body net. I don't know. The bugs in Tennessee in the summer are real crappy. This seems like it should be common sense, but wear boots or hiking shoes, not sandals. I saw multiple people that were walking around in snake country in sandals. Just seems like a poor decision. I wouldn't do that one if I were you. All right, so we got the basics out of the way. Now let's step up the game a little bit more. Show up early. I went over to the Sitka booth, I went over to the Mountain Ops booth, went to the Yeti booth. Go out and experience what the Total Archery Challenge is all the way through and through. It's not just about the courses. Go enjoy being a part of the community of archery and learning about the products that there are available for you to take a look at. I heard people on almost every course complaining about their gear not being right. Every single one. I've got arrows that are underspined, or my D-loop is too low. If your gear is messed up, it's still your fault. It's still your responsibility. You have to make sure that that stuff is in line, or you're literally going to be flinging arrows into oblivion without having a clue. There was one girl that I went out with. She was great. She was a super good archer, but she had her bow sighted in up to 30 yards, as in 20 and 30 were on, and she didn't have a clue where she was beyond that. But the course started at 40 yards and went up to 120. What do you think you're going to be doing? You may as well just throw arrows like a spear out there. You're going to hit about the same amount of targets. Sorry, I got all like dad voicey there. One of the things that I wish I had was a backpack that sat lower on my back, so when I had my arrows back there, they weren't sticking out so high. Because as you're walking the course, you're walking through brush and you're ducking down, and I was dragging my arrows through trees, so I ended up taking my pack off and leaving it back at the starting site more than I wanted to. I ended up buying an arrow tube while I was there from one of the vendors. It was $12, I think. I put it down as low into my pack as I could, and then I was able to load arrows. I thought it was going to be important for me to have easy access to the arrows, but if you think about it, you're hopefully not losing arrows at every single station. So when I finished day 1, I actually took a rubber band and I rubber banded higher up on my arrows so that they weren't moving around at all. And day 2, I lost 2 arrows. Lost them on the buffalo target at 160 something yards, so I think that's probably pretty fair. I was only sighted into 120. See? But that's that not being prepared thing. If I'd have known it was out to 160, I would have sighted into 160. I still blame myself. When I showed up that day to sight in, I went out to the prep range and they've got targets set up from 20 yards all the way out to about 80 yards. I started shooting and I realized that for some reason, whatever it was, if I was shooting at 20 yards, I had to dial up to 23. If I was shooting at 40, I had to be on 43. If I was shooting at 60, I had to be on 63. So I just adjusted, but I wouldn't have realized that if I didn't take my time and get out there and make sure that I was slamming 12s at 20, 40, and 60 yards. Take the time, get in there and prep your shots. Shoot 20, 30 arrows before you get out on the course. You're not going to get tired. There's plenty of adrenaline going. There's plenty of nerves when you get on those first couple of stations because you're probably with a group of people, might be with people you don't know. You're going to stand up there and then you're going to take your shots and it's going to be 10 minutes before you take your next one. It's not like backyard shooting where you're just repetitive time after time after time and you're getting tired. You're going to have rest in between every shot. If something doesn't look right on a target, if you get to the station and you start to range and you can't see the vitals because there's a stick in the way or the target seems like it's angled funny, walk up to the target because there genuinely may be something wrong. We had 3 different targets along our course between both days of shooting that one, a stick had literally landed right in front of the vitals. Another one, somebody had pulled some brush out in front of the crocodile target and you could barely see it. And another one, the target had fallen backwards to a point where you couldn't hit the vitals at all. So don't be afraid to walk up to the target, make sure that everything's in place. Don't walk up to everyone and start mowing down and pulling sticks. The whole point is that you may be shooting through a V like this at 60 yards. It looks like machine gun fire has just riddled the trees with bullets. But if you can see that 12 ring, don't move anything because that's how they want it to be. One of the pieces of gear that I really wish that I'd had out there, this guy right here. Boop. Bow stand. I didn't think about it. Every station we went to, you would stand at a cone here, you would shoot at a target that was 60 yards away, everyone would put their bows down, I would put mine on the ground, and then we would walk to the target, pull our arrows, and then walk back. Now, occasionally, you'd walk to the target and then walk on from there, but probably 90% of them you're going back to the cone and then moving out. So definitely recommend getting a bow stand. You can find these on Amazon for like $10, and it's very worth it if you're going to a 3D shoot. Rangefinder and binoculars. Every single target you come to, what'll happen is one person will get used to ranging and telling everyone what the range is, but that's not what this is all about. You're supposed to be practicing. You're supposed to be practicing for a real life scenario. So stand up at that cone next to him, range the animal, because that was one of the hardest parts for me. Was the rangefinder that I had is a few years old and it sucked. And I knew that it kind of sucked because here at the house it kind of sucks, but in the field when I'm trying to shoot through blinding sunlight into shadow, it literally wouldn't even read it. Wouldn't read it at all. But I got a new rangefinder because I realized that my rangefinder was not going to be accurate. So in a hunting scenario, if I've got an elk at 80 yards and I'm trying to range and I'm just clicking, oh, come on, hurry up. Just get to dial in there. No, that's not what you need. And I learned that at the Total Archery Challenge. Make sure your arrows are the same weight. I cannot tell you how many guys were out there with 12 different types of arrows with huge amounts of variation. Again, I don't have any clue how they're going to be effective. You're preparing for a hunt. Act like you're preparing for a hunt. Go out and enjoy yourself, but how is it enjoyable to just fling a bunch of arrows everywhere and lose them and break them? Don't pick up arrows off the ground and shoot them if they're not yours. I cannot tell you how many times we saw people that had picked up random arrows, looked at them, and then were getting ready to shoot them out of a 70-pound bow. Do you know how crazy that is? Have you ever seen any of the pictures of dudes with their hands that look like a porcupine just blasted through it when a carbon arrow explodes into someone's hand? don't pick up arrows and shoot them unless they're yours. Please don't go to the hospital just because you wanted to save $5 or $10 by taking a risk like shooting someone else's arrow that has already been shot into oblivion and they weren't able to find it.
117 caribou.
What the hell? Right in his antlers.
He clipped the tip of his antlers, it went over.
Uh-oh. He's shed hunting.
Right in his antlers.
Shed hunting.
I had so much great footage from the shoot that I could literally make this video an hour long. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of do a montage of our trip and a little short video at the end of the things that I wanted to put together. But thank you guys for watching my first Total Archery Challenge from San Antonio, Texas. I'm super excited to head to Tennessee this weekend. I'll be doing another video after I get done with Tennessee because every single one I do, I'm learning more. Hey, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button or subscribe. I've got tons of content coming this year. Thanks so much. I'm Brandon with RBM Archery.
100 yards at the lion.